In 2015, Pete Carroll made a decision that had a 98% chance of winning the Super Bowl. He failed. And the next morning, I mean, the entire world called him an
Ah,
idiot,
yeah, the headlines are just brutal.
screaming about how it was the worst play call in sports history. So today we are exploring why your brain is, biologically wired to punish good decisions like that, and how treating your life less like a chess match and more like a casino can actually fix it. Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission today is to radically upgrade how you make decisions in a highly uncertain world. We're drawing from this incredible book, Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke, which bridges academic cognitive psychology with the high-stakes, smoke-filled poker rooms of Montana and Las Vegas.
Yeah, and Duke's background is really what sets the stage here. I mean, she actually left a PhD program in cognitive psychology at the University of Pennsylvania because she got sick. And she ends up, of all places, in a Montana bar playing poker to pay the bills, and eventually wins over $4 million as a professional. So the premise here isn't about gambling. It's about navigating incomplete information. Poker is really just a rapid-fire laboratory for human decision-making.
Which brings us right back to Pete Carroll and Super Bowl XLAX. So the Seahawks have the ball on the 1-yard line. Closing seconds, they're trailing the Patriots by 4. I mean, the whole world expects a handoff to Marshawn Lynch.
Everyone.
But Carroll calls a pass play, it gets intercepted, game over. I remember watching that and just thinking, what on earth was he doing?
Most people did. But if we separate the outcome from the process, we run into this massive cognitive trap that poker players call resulting.
Resulting.
Yeah, resulting. It's our tendency to equate the quality of a decision entirely with the quality of its outcome. Statistically, if you look at the previous 15 NFL seasons, a pass from the 1-yard line resulted in an interception exactly 2% of the time.
Wow, just 2%.
Right. Carroll made a mathematically sound, arguably brilliant decision for clock management. He just got a bad result.
But I struggle with this, in practice. Because if the result is a disaster, doesn't that inherently mean the process was flawed? Like, driving home drunk and arriving safely doesn't make driving drunk a good decision. We all know that. Yet we constantly judge our professional and personal lives entirely by the outcomes.
We do, and it's because our brains evolved to seek certainty. Think about the savannah. If you see rustling grass, assuming it's a lion, a type I error keeps you alive.
Better safe than sorry.
Exactly. We rely on our fast, reflexive mind rather than our slow, deliberative mind like Daniel Kahneman talks about. We simply can't unsee our biases. It's like the Mueller-Lyer optical illusion, where two identical lines appear to be different lengths.
Oh, right, where one has the arrows pointing inward and the other outward.
Yes, exactly. Even after you measure them and know for a fact they're identical, your brain still sees one as longer.
That's wild. And this plays out in the corporate world constantly, too. Like, the book mentions that CEO, who meticulously analyzed his underperforming company, realized the president was the weak link and fired him. The process was completely sound.
But then he struggled to find a replacement.
Yeah, exactly. The search was a disaster. So the CEO sat there agonizing, thinking that firing the guy was this terrible decision, when really it was just a bad outcome to a good decision.
Because our brains crave certainty, we mistakenly treat life like a game of chess. But life isn't chess.
Right, which John von Neumann talked about.
Exactly. The father of game theory himself. He basically said chess is just computation. There's no hidden information. But real life involves bluffing, hidden info, and luck, just like poker.
It reminds me of Vizzini in The Princess Bride.
Oh, the battle of wits.
Yes, with the iocane powder. He goes on this dizzying rant, trying to outsmart the pirate, thinking he's playing chess. But he fails to realize he lacks crucial hidden information that both cups were poisoned.
He treated it like a solvable math equation. And that's why we have to fundamentally redefine the word wrong. We need to embrace the phrase, "I'm not sure." When a charity poker player gets upset that a hand with a 24% chance of winning actually wins, they yell, "You were wrong." But 24% isn't zero.
Right. And we see this with political polling, like the 2016 Trump election polling. And just to be clear to the listener, we are not taking any political sides here. We're purely using the author's examples. But Nate Silver gave Trump roughly a 30 to 40% chance of winning.
Right. And when he won, people screamed that the polls were completely wrong.
But a 30% probability means the event will happen quite often. Predicting it doesn't make the pollster wrong.
Exactly. And if every decision is a bet under uncertainty, what exactly are we betting on? We are betting on our beliefs about the future.
Which brings up the hilarious story of John Hennigan. Johnny World.
Oh my gosh, yes, Johnny World.
This nocturnal Vegas gambler bets $30,000 that he could live a quote-unquote normal life in Des Moines, Iowa for a month. He was so confident.
And how long did he last?
2 days. He bought his way out of the bet for $15,000 after just 2 days.
Because every choice, whether it's moving to Des Moines, taking a job, or just ordering chicken over steak, is a bet against all the alternative future versions of ourselves. And these bets are only as good as our beliefs.
Like the WKRP in Cincinnati anecdote the book mentions, where the station manager thought turkeys could fly, so he dropped them from a helicopter as a promotion. His bet was only as good as his very flawed belief.
Exactly. And Dan Gilbert's research breaks down the flaw in how we form these beliefs. We like to think we hear something, vet it, and then believe it. Actually, we hear it, believe it immediately, and rarely ever vet it later.
We just blindly accept things, like male pattern baldness coming from your maternal grandfather, or the dog-to-human age ratio.
Or the 90s Snackwell's low-fat diet craze. People thought eating boxes of sugar-filled cookies was healthy just because they said low-fat.
But wait, surely being highly intelligent protects you from this kind of biased belief formation. I mean, smart people vet things, right?
You would think so. But Dan Kahan's numeracy study shows the exact opposite. Smart people actually have a larger blind spot bias.
Wait, really? How is that possible?
What's fascinating here is that when highly numerate people looked at data regarding a politically charged topic in this case, gun control, they didn't use their math skills to find the objective truth.
Let me guess, they used it to spin the data. Again, staying politically neutral here, but they spun it.
Completely. They use their advanced math skills to confirm their pre-existing beliefs. Being smart just makes you better at building a narrative to protect your identity.
So if our brains stubbornly protect false beliefs and being smart makes it worse, how do we force ourselves to be objective?
By using the phrase, "wanna bet."
It really is a superpower. It's amazing how quickly someone backs down from a bold claim, like saying Citizen Kane is the best movie ever, the moment a friend says, "wanna bet."
Because framing decisions as bets forces us out of black and white thinking. Instead of saying you are 100% right, you start rating your confidence on a scale of 0 to 10.
Right, like saying I'm 60% confident.
Yes. Expressing yourself as 60% confident actually makes you a more credible communicator. And it invites others to share collaborative information rather than fighting you.
That makes total sense. But once you place your bet, the future actually unfolds. And how you interpret the result of that bet dictates whether you ever learn from it.
Which brings us to the luck and skill buckets.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about Nick the Greek from the Crystal Lounge. This guy would always play the absolute worst hand in poker, a 7 and a 2, for the quote-unquote element of surprise.
Classic.
And when he actually won, he claimed it was his genius skill. But when he lost, he blamed bad luck. The guy eventually got deported.
That is the ultimate self-serving bias. We predictably onboard good outcomes into our skill bucket, taking all the credit, and we offload bad outcomes into our luck bucket, blaming the world.
The auto insurance claims in the book had me dying. Drivers literally blaming stationary poles, saying the pole was approaching and struck my car.
Or poker champion Phil Hellmuth claiming, if it weren't for luck, I'd win every one.
It completely scrambles our ability to learn. It reminds me of the book's mention of the rat pulling the lever on a variable reward schedule. It's like humans at a slot machine. The uncertainty of luck completely breaks our ability to learn cause and effect.
And we do the exact reverse to others.
Right, Schadenfreude.
Exactly. When a peer succeeds, we call it luck. When they fail, we call it their fault.
The Steve Bartman incident with the Chicago Cubs in 2003 is the perfect example. Fans completely ruined this poor guy's life for reaching for a foul ball.
They ignored the massive bad luck involved, and they completely ignored the team's subsequent errors that actually lost the game.
They just needed a scapegoat. So how do we fix this?
We have to change the habit loop, the cue, routine, reward cycle. Instead of getting an ego reward from taking credit, we need to get a reward from being a good truth seeker. Look at poker legend Phil Ivey. After winning massive tournaments, he immediately asks other pros to critique his mistakes.
He wants to know where he was just lucky. But doing that alone is incredibly hard. You really need what the book calls a decision pod to hold you accountable.
A buddy system for truth-seeking.
Yeah. And if you don't agree to the rules first, it's a disaster. Like David Letterman asking reality star Lauren Conrad, quote, "Maybe you're the problem, do you think?"
Oof. Yeah, that was brutal. She had not agreed to be critiqued.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. The author compares this to The Matrix.
Taking the red pill, It's uncomfortable but true.
Exactly. And the Alcoholics Anonymous model. You need a group that provides social approval for doing the hard work of being objective.
But group dynamics are tricky. Philip Tetlock's research shows that if left alone, groups just fall into an echo chamber of confirmatory thought.
Just a bunch of people agreeing with each other.
Right, so a good truth-seeking charter requires three things: a focus on accuracy, accountability, and a diversity of viewpoints.
The accountability part is crucial. Like the story of high-stakes gambler David Gray betting $200 that Ira the whale could eat 100 White Castle burgers.
Oh, this story is amazing.
Everyone else thought Ira would fail. But Gray knew he'd win because he noticed that Ira ordered a milkshake and fries with his first 20 burgers.
Accountability, putting money on it, forces you to look objectively at the facts, rather than just going with your gut.
And for diversity of viewpoints, you have to institutionalize dissent.
Yes. The State Department's dissent channel is a prime example of this. Impartially speaking, whether it's memos on Syria or travel bans, allowing a formal channel for diverse viewpoints avoids groupthink. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's about systematically challenging your own assumptions.
So what does this all mean if we recap this whole journey? Stop treating life like chess. Recognize your decisions as bets against your future self. Avoid the self-serving bias of those luck and skill buckets, and find a truth-seeking pod to hold you accountable.
It really is a complete perspective shift.
It is. And for you listening, this framework isn't just for executives or poker pros. It's for anyone who wants to start beating themselves up over bad outcomes out of their control and start catching the learning opportunities you've been missing.
I'd like to leave you with a final thought to mull over. Look at your biggest regret from the past year. Now, applying the idea of the luck and skill buckets, what percentage of that outcome was actually out of your control? And for the percentage that was in your control, how would your life change if you viewed it not as a failure, but simply as a bet that taught you exactly how to wager your resources tomorrow?
So the next time you aren't sure what to do, just ask yourself, want to bet?